So, for the next 7 days, I'll be trying scientific methods to increase length down there. Welcome to the measurement.
Hey guys, it's Hink here. Today we're going to be breaking down Jesse James West's video on enlargement. We're going to be talking about what was good about it, what was bad about it, and what was absolute dog crap about it. And just to be clear, guys, I really like Jesse James West. I think he has phenomenal fitness content in general, and I think that he does a really great job with his channel. I really respect him a lot, and I actually think he's natural. So this is not going to be me crapping on him as a person, because I can promise you there are going to be some hot takes. Hot Take Hink is going to come back out, and it's been a while since he's seen the light of day.
I need you to unleash the beast.
But it's going to come out, but just know that I'm not crapping on him. So if you haven't seen this video, he basically did a 7-day challenge to try to grow his Johnson. So, already from the jump, you guys know you can't really do that much in 7 days. Certainly not anything permanent, but it's still an interesting video, so let's talk about it.
For the next 7 days, I'll be trying scientific methods to increase length down there. Welcome to the measurement.
So basically, he starts out here talking about penis insecurity in general. And quite honestly, I wish more men talked about it, because it's like this secret shame that not all men, but a lot of men have, that they're worried about the size of their penis. But we're taught that, I'm not trying to go into any pilled material. I don't even know what the different pills are. But we're taught that as men, you can't express your emotions, like insecurity, for example. There was one guy on the Getting Bigger subreddit that was, you shouldn't use the word insecurity as a man. I'm a man. But anyways, guys, he talks about penis insecurity, and I appreciate the fact that he just brings this video to light.
Well, apparently things are a lot smaller than the normal measuring tool, my iPhone. When you measure in inches, it's just humbling.
And here in this clip, you can see that he actually measures, and he says it's basically very humbling to measure in inches. I mean, I don't know. I guess he was saying he usually measures on his iPhone, but with an actual ruler. He also doesn't mention, I don't expect him to really know the difference, but bone pressed versus non-bone pressed. And for all intents and purposes of his video, he's going to be measuring non-bone pressed length, which is going to be the visible length, meaning you just put a ruler up, you don't try to jam it into the fat pad. And guys, I've seen how this video ends. Before you, actually, Hink, I've seen the video. I know how it ends, guys, but there's still a lot to break down. So just stick with me.
Minimum has to be at least 5.
What's the largest?
9, maybe.
9?
Probably 8. That's
8.
gigantic.
I thought these clips here of women being asked about their size preferences was very interesting. But the one lady does say, well, the minimum is 5. The other lady says range of 3 to 7 inches, guys. Once again, the good thing that he did here is he actually presented the size and said, here's an actual ruler, so you actually know what freaking 5 inches look like or 8 inches looks like. Not those stupid ass TikTok videos where the women are if you're not 12 inches, don't try to get with me. TikTok is just so harmful in general. And I know this is a form of social media, but I'm going to get off my old man rant right this second. And then one of the ladies was, yeah, the largest that I would ever consider is 8. And Jesse's 8 inches. And she's, yes, that's gigantic. Yes, 8 inches is gigantic, guys. That's what I've been trying to tell you. You get so skewed by these films and you think that this perception of what reality is totally off, guys. So next he's going to break down his actual step-by-step process, okay? What is his step number 1, guys?
To be in a caloric deficit, because the leaner you are, the more we're going to reveal the willy.
Step 1 of his routine was be in a calorie deficit. How many times do I have to mother effing say this?
You just don't learn, do you?
Ow!
I wish so many of you guys, go hot take here, man. I wish basically 80% of you guys interested in PE would stop worrying about pulling on your junk and instead would focus and dedicate time to diet and exercise and get into the gym and stay out of the kitchen to actually lose weight. You would feel so much better about yourself, your confidence, your self-esteem, your whole body image. Your junk would look bigger because proportionally as the rest of you gets smaller, you are going to look bigger. Your fat pad is going to decrease. I think it would be the issue to a lot of you guys' problem. Not everybody. There's always that guy, I'm already skinny. I get it. It's not for everybody. But in general, weight loss would serve everybody so much better. And this also answers the question, he's obviously measuring in non-bone pressed, because obviously bone pressed, where you jam the ruler into your fat pad as far as you can go, it doesn't really matter how much you weigh if you're using that measurement. And double hot take here, I don't know, Callie hit him with something. But guys, I've said it before, freaking Non-bone pressed is what really matters. Like, no girl is going to be asking, well, how big are you if you push a ruler into your pelvis? They're going to look at what they can visibly see, or the guys are going to look, guys in gay relationships are not going to be, oh, you're how big? Let's see how big you are if you push the ruler in. Nobody freaking cares about that. Then there's always that guy, but what about insertable length? Yeah, I get it. Your fat pad does compress somewhat, but it doesn't compress that much, guys. And when we're talking about look and appearance, that's going to matter far more than anything else, your non-bone pressed length. But Callie, hit him with that clip one more time where he says, the leaner you are, the more you reveal.
Because the leaner you are, the more we're gonna reveal the willy.
So here he starts talking about aphrodisiac foods.
Step 2, aphrodisiac foods, such as pumpkin seeds, pomegranate seeds, chocolate, spinach, and salmon. And there's one more, oysters, but I'll slurp anything.
Now, I have mixed feelings on this because basically what he's saying is things that are going to help to maximize your EQ or erection quality. Honestly, I do think libido is very underrated because it can make a huge difference when it comes to things like your EQ or when it comes to things like your overall desire, and it can help to maximize the size you have, but it's not going to actually make you bigger. So to me, that is a misnomer to be, oh, aphrodisiacs make you bigger. No, they maximize your size. They don't actually make you bigger. Guys, like right here at this part, he starts talking about oysters. Oysters are something that's always intrigued me because I've always heard that, oh, oysters increase your libido. The actual literature on that is very mixed. Like there's actually a lot of literature that say that it basically doesn't do anything for libido. But here's a little paper Healthline article, and there's a couple of things that are important in oysters. Number one, zinc. Zinc can help to maximize basically your hormonal balance. It can also help with libido. It's also important in actual seminal fluid formation. Yeah, zinc is important, but also things like omega-3 fatty acids, which are also in oysters, are also important for overall erectile function. Once again, when you're talking about aphrodisiacs, you're talking about maximizing actual erectile function or erectile quality, not actually getting bigger. Funny enough, guys, virility, it has maca, which is one of the most potent things that you can use for actual increasing libido. But guess what it also has? It also has zinc, guys. There's real science behind this. If you haven't seen my video on it, guys, check it out. So next he talks about heavy training.
Step number 3, heavy training.
So guys, it's no question, resistance training, building muscle is going to increase your testosterone levels in those that are actually natural. And I hope most of you guys are actually natural watching my channel because I think it's very important. But if you actually have been to a doctor and been diagnosed medically with TRT that has not improved by things like supplementation with things like Vitality, okay, or other natural ways, maximizing your sleep, maximizing your diet, maximizing your training, and you still have low test, then you need it, and it's prescribed to you by the doctor. So I'm not throwing shade at anybody that's on TRT that needs it. But interestingly enough, I found this paper here, and it actually showed, yeah, resistance training increases testosterone, but free weights like dumbbells and barbells actually increase testosterone significantly more than actually doing machines. Thought it was interesting. Takeaway, free weights more effective at increasing free testosterone than machines. But once again, guys, so you're increasing your testosterone. Increased testosterone does not make your D bigger. What it can do is help to maximize your arousal and maximize your actual erectile function. But that's what it does. But higher testosterone doesn't actually make your D bigger. It's just gonna help with erection quality.
Step 4, daily sauna, because we want to increase that growth hormone and also get the blood flowing.
So next he talks about daily saunas because it can increase HGH or human growth hormone. So guys, so can saunas, is there evidence for that? Yeah, there's actually evidence that saunas do this, but HGH is not going to make your D bigger. I actually made a video about HGH and DHT or testosterone in people that have micro penis, that have literally stunted growth. And yes, the combination of the two can help you get to a normal size, but it is not going to push you past normal. I'm kind of tired of him being, these are the things I'm going to do to make myself bigger, but none of them actually make you bigger. It's just kind of stupid. It's asinine.
Supplementation.
Here he talks about supplements. So once again, he talks about testosterone boosting supplement. He also talks about omega-3s. He's already getting those in oysters, so that's a little redundant. And then he talks about adding on essentially Cialis. He's talking about a PDE5 inhibitor. So it's either Viagra or Cialis, but Cialis is an overall, I do think it's a superior product. And even if you listen, he says when he's talking to Coach Greg before it gets cut off. Once again, you're maximizing arousal and you're maximizing EQ but those are not going to make your D bigger. And then he brings in Cialis for more like EQ benefits. Yeah, you're going to get harder than you've ever had before, and you're going to maximize your actual like the size that you have, but it's not going to make you bigger. And it's really weird to me because he's a natural dude, and he's obviously concerned about staying natural, but yet he jumps right over citrulline-based pre-workouts and goes right to like Cialis. Why would he make that leap when he could get, especially being a young, otherwise healthy guy, he could get extreme like EQ boosts from something like citrulline? And guys, you know what I'm gonna say, Vigor is back in stock, guys. It's back in stock, and it's a phenomenal product, and it has both citrulline and a more bioavailable form of arginine, amongst other nitric oxide synthase boosters to maximize nitric oxide, which is going to improve your erection quality. So it's just, but that part just makes no sense that he just jumps over all that and goes straight to a like pharmaceutical grade product. So basically everything that he said is just maximizing EQ, your erection quality, and maximizing arousal. It's just a flawed study, like right there. 7 days, not enough time for anything, really significant. And then everything that he's doing is just to boost arousal and erection quality. Yeah, he might have be the hardest that he's ever been before, but it's not like that's going to make him bigger, especially in 7 days.
Every single night, I will be using the Pump 3000. I'm gonna let you use your imagination for that one.
And here he starts talking about like the Pump 3000. I think we all know like what pump he's talking about. Certainly not a high quality air pump like you can get at peakmalephysique.com. But he's talking about a water-based pump that spams social media to try to promote their kind of subpar product, to be quite honest.
Okay, that was one of the most scary and unique experiences of my life. Don't know if I did it wrong, but it definitely kind of hurt. And we're gonna leave it at that.
He doesn't know what he's doing. He even says, I don't know if I did it wrong, but it kind of hurt. Guys, it should never hurt. If it's hurting, you're doing something wrong. Now, guys, I actually have my full enlargement course. It's over 90 minutes of content specifically on how to start, everything from what to do, how to do it, what products you need, your sets, your rep time, everything based on real actual science in a very concise and simple and easy to follow routine. That doesn't take much time every day. But if he had actually taken that course, then he would actually know what he's doing and know that you should always avoid pain.
My morning feeling like an absolute champion. I rolled out of bed at only 180 pounds, which is 3 pounds down in 1 day. So that's at least like an eighth of an inch added to the Johnson.
Here he starts talking about how he's already down, like 3 pounds, and he kind of estimates, yeah, that should be about an eighth of an inch. So I kind of have a problem with this too. So guys, like general rule is for every 25 to 50 pounds lost, you're going to lose about a half an inch to an inch. So you're going to gain about a half an inch for every 25 pounds lost. Which in my experience, guys, like I lost 30 pounds. So guys, I lost 30 pounds like between spring and summer, and I have actually kept almost all of it off. Callie, hit him with the before and after, please. But yeah, I can honestly say that I lost 30 pounds and I gained about a quarter of an inch in non-bone press length and visible length. But I still think he's like grossly overestimating, because that would be about a half inch for every 12 pounds according to like the math that he is proposing. And I think that's very generous, but I do think that weight loss is essential for maximizing actual like visible size. And guys, like I can't stress this enough. This dude is effing peeled out of his mind. He is already like probably sub 10% body fat. When you are already that lean, like he already almost has like a non-existent fat pad. So I give him grief for not measuring like bone pressed, but guys, his bone pressed is going to be pretty damn close to his non-bone pressed length. I don't think proportionally he has that much more of a fat pad to lose compared to if he was like 30 pounds overweight and needed to lose that, his fat pad would be much bigger. And I'm going to go full hot take again here, because like I get so freaking upset when I see these posts and the guy's like, I'm already lean, but I still have an inch fat pad. No, you're not lean then. That is not, if you are lean, you do not have a fat pad anywhere. I'm so upset with these guys that have no idea of what real freaking body fat percentages are. If you are anywhere in striking distance of 10% body fat, you are going to be peeled with every single ab visible and almost no fat pad. Certainly at the very least, less than a half an inch. Like there's this whole culture where like we're so used to seeing like fat people, and fat people are getting fatter than ever, that we like shift that to the normal. Like we assume a normal body weight is somebody that is already obese. It's just I get so frustrated that people don't actually understand that, and then have the nerve to get online, oh, I'm already lean, what can I do to reduce my fat pad further? And then guys are like, oh, maybe you need cryotherapy, or maybe you need to do like cavitization therapy. No, you need to lose more freaking weight. You need to get leaner, and you're not gonna have a fat pad. Sorry guys, I don't know, maybe I have some fat pent up anger today, but it's like, it's just one of those things that just like, it pisses me off every freaking time I see it, that guys have no idea about actual body fat. Here's another hot take here, probably gonna piss somebody off in the comments, but you're fatter than you think, guys. I promise you, you're fatter than you think. Not everybody, because there are some like intelligent people that actually know about body fat percentages, but you're fatter than you think. So you should get leaner than you think you need to be.
I yield. Please no more.
Once again, here is what like around 10% body fat looks like. Peeled every single ab, and I know, well, every body is different and people have different genetics. Like, guys, body fat is body fat. It doesn't matter how you can distribute your body fat. 10% body fat is 10% body fat, period, the end. All right, enough, because I don't want to have a stroke.
Honestly, it's not even scientific, it's more just logical, is shaving.
So guys, here's like a solid tip here. He says like, at this part he talks about like shaving. Yeah, it's obvious guys, like shave, it's kind of like more visible length. I'm not gonna spend much time on that.
The routine must continue. Daily pump? Ow! Check.
And once again, guys, here he talks about how it's really painful to use his pump. No, you're pumping wrong. You're going to injure yourself. And yes, guys, I have clients that have injured themselves the very first time they have tried to use the pump. So you can injure it the very first time. And this is pretty interesting. I guess it's like his girlfriend and his girlfriend's friend, and they're talking about BDE.
Do I have more BDE lately?
No. The ones that have BDE are the ones that don't act like they have anything at all. Yeah.
And I would just say that like, as I have gotten bigger, like I was so insecure about my size, like now that I'm bigger, like I do feel like I have more BDE, but it's really just like confidence. And I guess the way I carry myself now, it's like, I don't feel like a little, I don't know, a little boy. But I also think that these girls are kind of swayed by like Pete Davidson, because Pete Davidson is basically the poster boy for BDE. They assume that's just what BDE is, but you know, regardless.
Ladies and gentlemen, the final day, the final weigh-in. In theory, I have technically gained a little under 1/4 of an inch down there, so I'll take it as a win. The calorie deficit works.
So he talks about like day 7 finally came, and he lost about, he went from 183 to 179.5. And he said, in theory, I've gained 1/4 inch down there. And, you know, I still think that's a bit ambitious, but, you know, getting leaner, even just loss of water weight, drying out more, is going to make your visible length bigger.
As far as exercising goes, this thing probably worked the most out of every single exercise in practice, but not ideal every day.
Here, once again, he starts about the pump. So everything prior to this, he talks about how the pump was painful. He didn't think he was doing it right. But then he says, I think the most effective thing I did was using the pump 3000 is basically what he called it, which I applaud him for not like taking a big payout from the BM product and being, oh, this thing's work, guys, like Alpha M's douchebag self. And guys, if you want advice on how to actually use a pump, like I have a full playlist for free available for you guys if you want to check it out.
We now can say that we have increased the amount of donuts, not by 1 donut, not by half a donut, but only 1/4 of a donut.
And so he finally reveals his measurements, and like he doesn't use measurement in inches. For what reason, I don't know, but he says, I went from 6 donuts and now I'm basically 6 1/4 donuts. Over 7 days, he says that he's gained 1/4 of an inch. Guys, I don't want you to think that it's realistic to gain 1/4 of an inch in actual tissue and actual like permanent size in 7 days. However, if you were to have pretty dramatic weight loss, he had a very calorie restricted diet. Regardless of like the things he was eating, very calorie restricted to lose that much weight, okay? Maybe even water restricted. But you can get that much benefit, like if you do things that are going to increase your hardness, like you can gain significant size. That's why another thing I always say, guys, is like if you want to get bigger, like honestly, especially if you're like, arbitrary number here, 30 or older, try just a PDE5 inhibitor like Cialis or Viagra and just see what that does to your extra size. Like, that literally might be all you need. And then if you see, wow, if my EQ was better, I would need to get bigger, or I would already be bigger, then you focus on things like diet and exercise and cardio and diet and things that can maximize your EQ naturally. I already have a video too, guys, of like 10 things to avoid if you like want to maximize your actual erection quality. Check it out. But I do think most of his gains, you know, for all we know, it's a temporary pump from like using the pump like he might have measured right after, and weight loss, and of course like improvements in EQ and like his overall arousal level. So then he says like,
Okay guys, not enough playing around. So my actual size is
now it's time for me to reveal my size. My size is about, and he like cuts it off. And I mean, it's like, whatever, it's kind of stupid. I think you can clearly hear him mention like at least 6. He might say like 6.9, he might have said 6.1, he might have just said 6. But regardless, if he's measuring non-bone pressed and he's 6, like that's significantly bigger than average. Like it is, guys. That's what I think you should strive for, non-bone pressed measurements, because those are real world things, but neither here nor there. So he's like 5'10", so he's a bit above average with like 6 non-bone pressed. That's already pretty good, guys. He sounds like he didn't really need to get much bigger if he went from like 6 non-bone pressed to 6.25.
Okay, listen, this video is clearly quite idiotic. Focus on the real things in life. Focus on making money, making relationships, making gains, and overall, just staying relentless. Peace.
His closing, when I first saw this closing, I was, you know, bravo Jesse James for talking about things that really matter. But then the more I thought about it, like, it's really dismissive. And the reason why, like, I get what he's saying. He's, he basically says size doesn't matter, focus on things that matter, but size does matter to a lot of guys. There are so many guys that have things like body dysmorphia, penile dysmorphia disorder, small penis syndrome, small penis anxiety, that are like real medical conditions that can be debilitating for a lot of guys that don't have the luxury of just being, oh, I'm just not going to think about it. You know, if I could have just not thought about my D size, then like I would have done that, and I wouldn't be here today, because I'd be like, dude, it's just a D, who cares? But it matters to a lot of guys. A lot of guys have had some traumatic experiences where girls have been implied they're small, told them they're small, told them that they've had bigger and they wished like their partner was bigger. That stuff can really mess you up mentally, guys. I have guys that talk to me about like some feelings of like wanting to off themselves, for example, because of their size. That's really dismissive to just be, oh, just get over it. It doesn't really matter. But I do agree with the fact that he was, focus on the things that matter, guys. Imagine the time some of you guys spend tugging on your D. If you were to put that towards learning a new language, or learning like financial independence, or taking a new course to further your career, like imagine where you would be right now, rather than just being, oh, I'm going to pull on my pee-pee because that's what really matters to me. You know, I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but like for me personally, I tried to max out my life. I'm in shape. I stayed in shape. I kind of maximized my career as a physician. And then once all of that was in place, I'm in a stable relationship with a wonderful girl that loves me for who I am. Then I was, well, now let me see if I can make my D bigger, guys. You know, please, listen to what he said. Focus on what matters, guys. I mean, and I'm not saying you can't focus on getting bigger as well, but just know that there is more to life than just the size of your jimmy. So overall, like, I did like this video. It was entertaining, but I do think the advice on actual enlargement is like pretty much like D tier advice. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Remember, there's nothing wrong with self-improvement, but just remember, you are enough just as you are. Catch you guys on the next one. Apple Watch. Peace and love.